Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Firm. I'm your host, Alex Gore. I'm here with our other host, Lance. Let me see. Corporate Freebies Cayko.
That's my name.
You got to fill us in about that in a little bit. We have a great show for you today. We're going to talk about some graph in folder 328. Apparently it's good. I have a very discussion question about buying property that I want to go over with you, and then talk about Billings. And then we have a very special guest reading 2 reads.
Wow.
It's going to be huge.
Wow.
It's going to be awesome. But before that, let's pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
And, everyone has their own aspirations, right? Falls down into a bunch of different categories. A lot of it, the categories are providing for your family, right? Providing for college, for your kids.
Yep.
Providing for retirement, emergencies, stuff like that. And there's also the fun things, too. Vacations, living in the house that you want.
Hey, maybe I want a steak.
Maybe you want a steak. Oh, good eats. And then there's doing all that while doing work that's meaningful and not soul-sucking.
Yeah,
right?
The
answer to that is profit.
Really?
And running an efficient firm where you get those clients, where things are running smooth, where you have the time to breathe and enjoy life. So go to buildabetterco.com, buildabetterco.com. Watch our 5 steps to increase your profit, or email me at akg@f9productions.com.
Duratherm defines the category of all wood, completely custom hardwood windows and doors that deliver on your architect vision, and everyone knows it. That is why they refuse to rest on their laurels. And while Duratherm brand is built upon their expertise in wood windows, they are proud to announce the introduction of a clad exterior feature for their windows. Learn more at durathermwindow.com. And last but certainly not least, arcat.com. Can't find the product data you're looking for? You might be using the wrong search engine. Broad searches result in consumer products, out-of-date information, and websites that hide or don't have the information you're looking for. If you need specifications, CAD, BIM, arcat.com is your search engine. Find and download the up-to-date data you need fast. arcat.com is free and requires no registration, so try Arcat today. That's arcat.com, arcat.com. Al Gore, back to you. Billings continue to soften.
Architects Billing Index for October came in at 44.3, slightly from September score.
Even worse?
Of 44.8. So 50 would be baseline. So it's definitely going down.
I called Jerry Boland, shout out Jerry, 2 days ago. I was walking around the supermarket and asking him some questions about details and other things. And he's like, I don't even want to look at the AIA buildings right now.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, I don't even do it.
And the difference in this note, rather than when we've talked about it before, was sometimes they'd say billings go down and it'd be negative 0.5. But if it was above 50, that means that you were still growing from previous months, but not as fast. This is not only are you below previous months, but it's below of before previous months. All that made sense. I'm sure you sorted it out in your brain. Here we go. From our favorite chief economist, Kermit Baker. This report indicates not only a decrease in billings at firm, but also a reduction in the number of clients exploring and committing to new projects, which could potentially impact future billings. The soft conditions were evident across the entire country, as well as across all major non-residential building sectors. I heard Nashville is doing fine. But other than that, I'm sure there's pockets of greatness. Here we go. We've got
a graph up for all the terrestrial listeners. Let me just read the headline of it if I could, Al. More firms reported decreased billings in September, but the graph is showing a couple different things up top. Inquiries have dipped bigly in quarter 4, which is kind of crappy. Ours have actually went up. I know it's always a mixed bag, and then the billings are way down. But it certainly looks like we're heading into a weird down cycle. I do have some good news. Once you kind of finish this one, if you click on the next article in the show notes, I'll show you.
Yep, just seeing if you look across, they're down everywhere. Wow, the Northeast and the West.
West is
40.
That's where we're at, Al.
We are in the West. Yep, in Northeast. Honestly, one of the reasons why our inquiries and stuff are going up is because we manage a better business. Buildabetterbusiness.co.
Build a better business. Build a better business.
Build a better company. Buildabetterco.com.
Buildabetterco.com. Check it out.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to go to the next link for you, Lance.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah, I just added it. So I saw this, and I meant to add it to the show notes earlier. So while Al is copying and pasting it in. With Fed likely done hiking rates, Waller flags pivot ahead. So I don't know if you saw this, but I saw murmurs of it too, in that the Fed is now signaling that they may finally reduce rates in the spring of 2024.
Oh, in the spring. Wow. That's good. I've always been here in the fall or summer of 2024.
Yeah.
That's good. Because the moment they even do a quarter point, it just unleashes a whole bunch of psychological energy.
Thank you. Exactly. It's a psychological game for the most part. People who have been waiting to buy and buy homes in particular, or even pull the trigger on like that HELOC or refinance to build whatever addition they're going to do, remodel to their house, all that kind of stuff, their business and all that. It's just then they're going to feel like they got a deal. People just don't want to feel like they're ripped off.
Okay.
What?
You want to make a prediction?
I don't, but you do. I know you do, which is all good. Our prediction, Gore.
This one isn't a strong one like I have before.
Yeah.
If the Gaza-Israeli war concludes before the end of February, and also the Russian-Ukraine war, which in all likelihood it could, it's just stubbornness on both sides. It's sort of like a revisit of Vietnam, where people are just dying needlessly for longer than needs to. Yeah. The borders are set. This is actually a prediction that I'm pretty confident on. The Donbass region down to Crimea will probably remain Russian for the foreseeable future. So it is what it is, unless you want to just throw human people at walls of bullets, which I don't think logical people want to do.
Yeah.
Anyways, if those two end and they do a quarter point, everything to the moon. Everything to the moon.
Look.
Pure speculation here.
It'll be an election year, right? 2024. So the people in power want to stay in power. They're going to want to have some kind of good news, because more often than not, if the economy doesn't work out, I do need that.
But I want to switch quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
More often than not, statistically, if you look at the history and historical graphs and all that data, the people in power want the economy to at least look good.
That's why my prediction is actually only 50-50, meaning if the powers that be have enough power to make all that happen and want the current regime to stick in office, even if they just pass the torch to Gavin Newsom at the convention, then they will make that happen, right? If the powers that be don't want that to happen, then don't keep the interest rates where they are. Everyone hates the government. Keep the war going. Everyone's on both sides of that. So it means no one's happy because it's not a solution either way. So that's why it's literally 50-50 in my book, whether those three things happen or not. And the weird thing is it's a fight for who is quote unquote president.
Yeah.
Weird. Playing with people's futures and lives over a vote game.
Yep. That's
Fun.
what it boils down to.
Okay.
Where are we going to pull up?
So we talked about Billings continue to soften, and then you went to real estate, and you gave us that Fed might decrease in spring.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a tweet I saw from Alan Corey. He's the real estate maximalist. So just know he's a maximalist in real estate, so he's probably biased. Here's the statement I want everyone's thoughts on. I would rather buy a $300,000 property with an 8% rate today than the same property at $350K with a 4.5% rate last year. This is the market we are in, and it's time to buy. When rates drop, the house will go up to $350, and I can refinance to a lower rate instant 50K equity. Agree, disagree, discuss. Lance, discuss with yourself.
I would rather buy a 300K property with 8% rate today than the same property at 3. Nope. I would rather just buy the property. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time. I would rather buy the property when I can buy the property. Done. Like it actually doesn't matter. All he's doing is playing semantics. The value is going to be the value is the same. I don't see the proposition being different at all. Do you? Like it's a fun mental trick that he just did, and I think he's trying to like, Alan, if you're listening, I realize it's you. Everybody wants to be 6'1" like Lance and an IQ of 137 and beautiful. I get it, but you're just playing mental gymnastics.
No. So this is the point I wanted to get to, okay. He's incorrect. Like you should have had 350.
You should have bought it at 350 for the lower rate. Okay.
Actually, here's why not. It's because you paid for that equity, where now he's saying he's getting the free equity. Here's the trade-off. You're playing with the notion that rates will go down and that you can refinance to get that 50K equity. I do agree that it's basically a wash, right? Because right now you're doing a risk game for that 50K in equity, where the other one is more of like a guaranteed and you can rent that out and blah, blah, blah. But the point being, everyone thinks everything is terrible right now for real estate and that it was great a year ago. And he's saying you're in the same position. You're in the same position, essentially.
Yeah. You're just teasing, Alan. You're probably, you look all right. but yes, you're in the same position. That's the point. I just think it's always, if you can afford to buy property, I don't know if it's a bad idea almost ever. It's just a seesaw every single time. I mean, there was this, right now, we just rented out one of our investment properties, me and Al, this last month or two, commanded the highest rent ever. Yep. And so are our neighbors who are also investors in that way. So like, it's a back and forth. It just matters if cash is king, and if you can get the liquid to buy property, do it. It is what it is. Unless there's a giant, crazy, catastrophic population adjustment in wherever we're at, another plague or whatever. But like, I don't see rents going down. I don't see they're not making more houses. That's where you're at in the system. Okay, our good friends at Monograph. I saw this on the LinkedIn and I thought it was fantastic. You can get this full report for free at monograph.com/risk report. And what I've got here up on the screen is I'm going to read some of these to Al.
Okay.
So they have an architecture and engineering recession-proof cheat sheet.
I love it.
We're in a recession. Here we go. Okay, let's see if it's, yep.
Okay.
So their number one goal or thing you should do on the cheat sheet is, number one, get face-to-face with your clients. Go back to the basics for business development with informal in-person networking like lunches and dinners to stay informed about how the economy could impact your clients and project pipeline. That's from Hannah Brown, SHRM, SCP, Business Management Consultant. Agree, Al?
100% agree.
Have you been doing that?
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm leading you here.
If you were in our course, you would know the system for getting leads. I just had another contractor that I emailed, and there was a specific way that I emailed and made a little video, and there's a program, and there's a system to it, and I track it because we want to get better, and we want to improve what works, what doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. He said, hey, thanks for reaching out. Great video. My son is helping me run the day-to-day. I included him on this email. I trust he will reach out and talk to you next week.
Beautiful. Yep. Get out there. Number two, prioritize your long-term reputation. Be intentional about your business development and marketing. Invest in your long-term reputation with clients by avoiding the temptation to negotiate for short-term financial gain and by building relationships even before there is a project. Mariyati Hohari Blackwell, AIA, managing principal of Marlin Blackwell Architects, very prominent firm. I would 100% agree. Get those 5-star reviews going. It's a big deal. I mean, I'll tell you what. There are many instances, and I don't know if Al talks about this in his course. I bet he does, though, that where you can trade the short-term financial gain for a long-term reputation bump. And we've done this in multiple different ways. I'll give you two hints and our two ideas for how to do it. Let's say you could send a final bill for like $500 of additional services because they had some kind, the client had some kind of last minute change or the city had some kind of last minute change. Instead of going for the $500, what if you said, "Hey, we were happy to make this change, and you know what? We're going to do it gratis in exchange for a 5-star review." Boom, there's your 5-star review. You just bought a 5-star review. We have one of our insurance agents. He reached out to me recently and said, "Hey, I want to finish my basement." And he was kind of like beating around the bush about like, well, I'm like, "Well, so do you want us to design it, right?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And I think they think architects are going to be crazy expensive. And I go, "All right, no problem. How about this? You've been a long time friend. You do all of our insurance. We'll just tackle that for you in exchange for a 5-star review from you and your wife. If we earned it, boom, got that." Two excellent examples. Number 3, put yourself in your client's shoes. I'm being empathetic. Think like your client. Look outside your world for bigger issues that you can solve and find a way to help others. Building design is not just what a building looks like. It's what it is, how it operates, its context and community, and what it gives back to.
Okay. That's I have a caveat on that.
Beautiful.
The only way that you're actually going to know is go back to number 1 and get face to face with them and ask them what their issues are.
And one of the other only ways is you need to consider maybe building something yourself and developing it once in your life.
And the reason why I say it's a caveat is because I have had many people come to me with their solutions of what they think I need, and my face maybe has like a deer in headlights, like, "Oh, this is what you think I need?" And you're talking for 10 minutes. Yeah. And I have to go, that is of no use to me whatsoever. Yeah, Thanks for spending all your time thinking about and talking up a solution to how you're going to help me on contract negotiations. Like, no, stop.
Number 4, help your staff think like the owners. Quote, develop a futures council to focus on what's next, including a wide group of people from a cross-section of the firm, not just owners with the diverse points of view. What do you think of that? I think how would a futures council, it sounds like some hippy-dippy DEI nonsense.
I don't know if I have a personal take on this, but I have HOK, the book that Patrick McLaney wrote, talked about how it helped his firm, and it wasn't a future council. What they did is people, they restricted stock to only active people because they didn't want just money people dictating what the firm was doing or getting the hard work and the money
by
that
active
the firm
you mean
made.
People that are doing the work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then taking the stock dividends and just profiting from it, right? Because it conflicts of interest. So you can buy in, and then especially, and then literally when you retire, like you have to sell. But that's not what I'm getting to. If you did buy in, then they would expand the board, and I'm sure there had to be a different percentage of it, and they would have quarterly board meetings. So now people that had some stock had buy-in literally to the company and buy-in and how it operates and what happens. So like this future councils seems like a hippie way to say, oh, you want to put people. It seems like a lie. I mean, I'm sure on these
it seems like a facade. How about that? A fake.
Committees suck. Committees suck, and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Stop with committees. Put someone in charge of something. Have them be responsible for getting it done. If they need people to help them, then people will form up, or you'll mandate that people form up to help them. So a council seems like a committee, so screw that. And then a board, though, is slightly different. You might say it's a committee, that's fine, but you literally have to have skin in the game to kind of be on the board. So now you're making decisions that matter, and just don't put things to committee once you decide on action points.
Number 5, develop a cadence of communication. Get in the habit of daily, weekly, and monthly check-ins to see where your staff are in terms of mindset, how happy they are with their job, and what their ambitions are. Al, I see you just bursting at the seams over there.
If you are a mid-sized firm, meaning over like 10 people in the architecture industry, push-up time. And if you don't invest in buildabettercompany.com and get a systematic way to do this communication and improve your firm, become lean, you are throwing money into the fire.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know I'm extremely biased.
Yeah.
You are throwing money into the fire.
Yeah. Number 6, focus mentorship on early career staff. Nurture young graduates within 1 to 5 years experience by being more intentional about mentorship and cultivating a diverse talent pool. The only thing I don't like about that is this whole push for diversity. Like, why are you pushing for that? Like, is it diversity through strength? The real definition of it is do you have multiple
perspectives,
but but typologies. That is your firm doing multiple typologies and extending past just doing architecture, doing consulting, do you have a podcast, all of these things that we preach and everything today. The nurturing, though, I 100% agree with. I think one of the biggest learning lessons that Al and I have learned lately is we have this, I keep making this analogy to, we have a layered cake at F9, F14 even, all the companies, in that Al and I are the CEOs, we're the spearheads. Then we have senior staff. Then we have what I was describing to Jake the other day. It was like, we do have like a middle staff member. We have junior staff, and then we have entry-level staff. And what Al and I are doing is with the entry-level staff is we are training them directly. So like we're bookending the whole thing. And our senior staff has then had a much better time working with and not training, but like managing junior level staff in that kind of way. I think if you can, I just can't think of a better leadership approach than if you're like us. I mean, we're a small firm, only 8 architects, but we're going from Al and I are mentoring the newest guy in that kind of way. Yeah. Yep. Number 7, use technology to increase efficiency. We do that all the time. Streamline the business side of your firm. Use QuickBooks and Monograph, of course, to get the low-hanging fruit. A couple other pieces of software I highly recommend for everybody to increase efficiency. Calendly, 100%. Try to get the Calendly app. Toggle, be tracking all of your time. Try to have a project tracker like we do that everybody has access to, so everybody sees what they're doing. Meet once a week. Al, what other ones would you?
No, those are all great. I think Monograph might have some of those in them. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh, got it. Utilize historical data to inform future performance. Use your past timesheets and bill of data to write realistic proposals. Agreed.
Yep.
How are you going to do that, though, unless you don't have a piece of software like Monograph or whatever you're tracking for time to be able to see, oh, hey, we did this project for X. It worked. The economy softened. Maybe we got to reduce our fees. Can we reduce our fees, still maintain the profit? If you're not organizing that way, I don't know what you're doing. Measure the impact of your, number 9, measure the impact of your time. Track the investments you are making with clean and interconnected records about your projects, people, time, and money. Again, Monograph. Probably check those guys out. Number 10, review and respond to the impacts of inflation. Yep. Adjust for inflation on an annual basis, not just in your rates, but also in your contracts. Include the potential need for additional services like value engineering because of the impact of inflation on construction costs. What if though, Al, the inflation is so bad and the Federal Reserve increases the interest rates so much that it pushes the economy down, and then billings are down month over month over month, and you're in a recession even though CNN says we're not? Can you still raise your rates, or what do you have to do?
Okay. Yes, you can still raise your rates, and how you need to do that is you need to create a marketing apparatus that operates on a couple different levels, which is your storefront, your inbound marketing, and your outbound marketing, that gets so many people going through your door that you can't fit everyone. Then you can pick the clients and the projects that you like to stick your hand out, bring them through the door, and be on the good side of the equation there.
Yeah. Number 11, forecast cash flow to anticipate future needs. Shore up as much cash as possible. This will help firms weather the uncertainty in the long run and the short run. But you got to have something to track it. You got to have either Monograph, you got to have the QuickBooks, you got to have something to be able to, that software that helps you anticipate cash flow. Very, very critical. Al and I have been really, really honed in on financials this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was because we just started really tag teaming it. Like, we are watching it like a hawk. We're having Penny, our bookkeeper, update the financials within like a couple days after we're done a billing.
Yep.
So
on the month. Yep.
Yep. And all of that. It's a lot of work, but like, man, you just got to be keen to it. Like, you're running a good ship. How about this? CEOs, principals who are running small firms. You are running a tight ship. If you know where you're at financially every single month and projecting into every single next month, 100%. Like, if you are keen on exactly like where things are going, and if you're got new people coming in, like we just talked about, if you are the one actually mentoring them and steering them in the right direction, and you don't have to worry about the middle of your cake, you're crushing it.
Yeah,
that's where you got to be.
This kind of relates back to the first read. Right now, F9 is probably at peak cash reserves. You know, pretty much probably within 10% of peak cash reserves ever of the whole firm, which is great. And it goes back to, okay, you're running a great firm, but what does that mean? That means you're not overly stressed. That means that you're able to take vacations.
Al looks great today. His beard is on point.
It's on point. It means you're able to save up for your family. All those things that we talked about. It's a holistic approach. It's not just about the money. It's about what the money does for your life.
You free yourself from anxiety. Number 12, establish regular financial practices. Track collections periods, follow up with clients, proactively establish other periodic rhythms to reduce the time it takes to convert invoices to cash. Absolutely, 100%. Anyway, so again, you can download this full report for free at monograph.com/risk report. They did not pay us to do that. I just really like those guys, and I appreciate everything they do. What do we got next, Al?
I think we have our special guest. Am I wrong?
No, you are not. I'll pull him up here. Mr. Elon Musk. Wow.
Apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself.
But
go f*** yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about?
Attaboy, Elon.
What if Bob Iger wasn't in the room?
If he wasn't?
No, if he was, that'd be hilarious.
I thought he was. That's what they said.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that wasn't a joke. Like I'm pretty sure he thought he was in there. CEO of Disney, yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, then we have Elon joined us twice today.
Wow.
And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. F*** them.
I cannot stress how much that is in our culture right now.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crazy that we could go into a whole rant of it, but the fact that people only get on sides and can't see solutions. And know what? Let's make this easy.
Okay.
Congress.
Yeah.
All of you.
Except for Thomas Massey, but keep going. Yeah.
Okay, sure. It's just, you're terrible human beings.
Terrible human beings.
You're terrible human beings and like, oh, well, I'm successful. I'm nice. I have a great family. I have a whole bunch of friends, but stuff like that. You're literally driving us off a cliff for your own political game, and you're following in line with that, and you don't have enough guts to stand up and do what's right.
Yeah.
All of you.
Wake up. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. If you like this episode and you want to leave us a 5-star review, I would highly appreciate that. If you want to send me some gifts, you know where to find me. Email me at lmc@f9productions.com. You can obviously find our address, and we will see you next adventure.
Woo!
We will see you next episode. Wow. The fishing is crossing over.
Next adventure.